Hey guys, today we're on communicating for success. This is chapter F3 in our black book. Let's get started because it is very important to be able to communicate if you want to be successful. Practice communication skills. Workplace communication. Most of the beauty professionals' achievements will depend on their ability to communicate successfully with a wide range of people, supervisors, co-workers, clients, and various vendors who come into the shop. That's the reason why I always tell y'all, you do not have to be best friends with the people who are in this class with you, but get along and try to be respectful to everybody because this is what your world is going to be like from now on when you get out there in the real world, okay? Here are practical steps for effective communicating in the workplace. Respond instead of reacting. Do not let someone else dictate your emotions. Avoid reacting with an eye for an eye mentality. Believe in yourself. It is easy to believe in yourself when you have a strong sense of self-worth. Believing in yourself makes you feel strong enough to handle almost any situation in a calm, helpful manner. And evidently, when I was in school, I believed in myself, or I portrayed that I did anyway, because other students in there that, were not in my little group that we hung out and went to lunch together and this and that and other. It wasn't that I didn't like them, but this one girl come up to me and asked me would I cut her hair, and she had long, natural, curly hair. It was beautiful. And I said, why me? She said, I just watch you and you just act like you know exactly what you're doing, and I don't want nobody else to do it. So it made me feel good. So I was believing in myself even more, not too cocky. Believing in yourself is one thing, but being cocky is another, okay? Talk less, listen more. Listen more than you talk. When you're a good listener, you're fully focused on what other people are saying. Be attentive. Each client is different. Some clients are clear about what they want, some are demanding, and still others may be hesitant. You have to have an aggressive client. If you have an aggressive client, ask your manager for advice. You will likely be advised that what usually calms down difficult clients is agreeing with them. Follow up by asking what you can do to make the service more satisfactory. So no matter how you feel like the haircut or the color or whatever chemical wave is going to look in your eyes on them, it's all about how they feel about what they're asking for, okay? Take your temperature. If you're tired or upset, your interactions with clients may be affected. An important part of succeeding in a service profession is taking care of your personal conflicts first so that you can take care of the best possible care of your clients. Okay, the golden rules of communication. Follow these golden rules for communication to build a successful beauty and wellness center. And you may even want to print it off. You know, I always have little notes around me of what I need to do, how I need to do it. Even when I'm teaching you, I have notes saying what to do, how to do it. Okay? Project a professional demeanor at all times. You do not want to come in looking like you don't have a clue about what's going on. Smile. A smile can be your best asset. Wear one every day. Be aware of your body language. For example, don't cross your arms when you're listening to a client or team members. Instead, nod your head to acknowledge or accept their points of view. Always remember that listening is the best relationship builder. Speak clearly and loudly enough for people to hear. Don't mumble, use correct English. The importance of effective communication. Effective communication is the act of successfully sharing information between two people or groups of people so that the information is understood. You can communicate through words, voice inflections, facial expressions, body language, visual tools such as portfolio of your work. When you and your client are both communicating clearly about an upcoming service, your chances of pleasing the client soar. So you can use the visual tools and your voice, You can combine the stuff. Tell them how you think their haircut would look, then show them a visual picture of it. Okay? Client intake form. Very, very, very important. Every new client should fill out a client intake form, also called a client questionnaire, consultation card, or health history form. This form can prove to be extremely useful communication and business tool. The client intake form is used in beauty and wellness services as a questionnaire that discloses the client's contact information, products used, hair, nail, skin, and care needs, preferences, lifestyle, medication, both topical, applied to the skin, and oral taken by mouth, known medical issues, skin and scalp disorders, and allergies or sensitivities. So this should be the first thing you do, even if it's a returning client. You pull out the client intake form. Has anything changed as far as your health, your medication, anything like that? So you should always use that. And it can also be a kind of like a cheat sheet for you, okay? How to use the client intake form. And I will have one here for you so I can show you what it looks like and what you need to do with it, okay? The kind that we use here on our salon floor. The client intake form can be used from the moment a new client calls the spa to make an appointment. When scheduling an appointment, let the client know that you and the salon will require some information before you can begin the services, and that it is important to arrive 15 minutes ahead of the appointment time. Also allow time in your schedule to do a 5 to 15-minute client consultation. Changes can occur between visits, so remember to have your returning clients refer to their notes on the intake form recorded at their last visit. Any significant changes should be recorded on their service card as well. So maybe the last time Miss Smith came in, you used Leaf and Flower shampoo, which is one of the products we have out front in the salon. Maybe she had an allergic reaction to it, and you can say, well, how did everything go with your last one? And maybe she would tell you, well, you know, my scalp kind of broke out. I don't know if it was a shampoo or something else. So that means let's try something different this time instead of that same shampoo. Conduct the client consultation. Let's say the client consultation is a discussion with the client that determines the client's needs and how to achieve the desired results. The client consultation is one of the most important parts of any service and should always be done before starting the actual service. A client consultation should be performed as part of every single service and shop visit. Before client consultation, keep your clientele looking current, feeling good, and above all, satisfied with your services. A happy client means repeat business for both the shop and you. Preparing the client for the consultation. Be prepared to make the most of the dialogue and have certain important items on hand. Pen and client intake form. Selection of styling books, pamphlets, literature, and or digital images that your clients can look through. Material showcasing a variety of available service options. A portfolio of your work with before and after photos. Additional material that can help the client visualize potential results such as treatment brochures, nail rings, or hair swatches. These items are often provided by product manufacturers as selling tools. The 10-step consultation method. To ensure you cover all the bases, keep a list of the following 10 key points at your station. Modify the list as needed for each actual service. Review. Review the intake form. Assess. Perform a needs assessment. Preference. Discover the rate of the client's preference. Analyze the client's characteristics. Lifestyle. Review the client's lifestyle. Ask the following questions. Do you spend a great deal of time outdoors? Do you swim frequently? Do you work with your hands? How much sun exposure do you get? What is the occupation? This for me was very important when I was working at the elementary school and driving the bus. I wanted to have something that was going to be very easy and quick for me to do in the mornings because I had to get up so early. Have them describe their personal style. What are the skin, hair, and nail care habits? How much time do they want to invest in maintaining their nails, hair, and skin? Show and tell. Encourage your client to describe styles or services that they like. Reflective listening is to the client and then repeating in your own words what you think the client is telling you. So if you were to tell me, I want my hair in a stacked bob swinging towards the front with longer layers, I'm going to make sure they're turned towards the mirror and I'm going to say, so what you're telling me is you want it stacked back here, you want it cut, and I will put my finger where they're talking about they want it cut, and you want the front this length. And so that way they can kind of see what you're talking about and they can make their decision. So always repeat what your client tells you they want. Make recommendations as part of the needs assessment. Narrow your selections based on the following criteria. The lifestyles. The services you choose must fit the client's maintenance ability, meet the client's needs, and provide options as required. Hair, nails, skin type. Base your recommendations on the client's characteristics. Upsell. Upsell your services. Never hesitate to suggest additional services that will complete the look or improve it in some way. So if you're doing a certain cut, but you think a different color or highlights or balayage, anything like that, I like the cut that you have picked out. But I think if we add a splash of this color right here, it would really set it off. Upsell. Maintenance. Discuss upkeep and maintenance. Repeat. Review the consultation. This is the most critical step of the consultation process because it determines the ultimate services. Always take your time and be thorough. Pause for your client's confirmation and ask the client for feedback on the consultation process. Concluding the service. Once the service is finished and the client is satisfied, take a few minutes to record the results on the service record card. Note anything you did that you want to do again. And you will do this a lot when you're here on the floor. The ladies will want a roller set or a chemical wave or finger waves, anything they have done, and you're going to record it on that card. And you can say, Miss Smith, last time we used the blue rollers on your hair, and I have a special little note that says roll it to the side. Is that the same way you want it? It's a cheat sheet. Do it. Things you would do differently next time. All right, so Miss Smith, I see that this time they rolled it straight down, but next it says next time roll it back. Is that the way you still want it? The final results. How did the hair look when you finished it? Any retail products that the client purchased. Be sure to date your notes and file them in the proper place. Depending on your workplace, some salons may enter the information on each client into a client record database. Okay, getting too personal. Keep it professional. Sometimes when a client forms a bond of trust with a beauty professional, the client can have a hard time differentiating between a professional and a personal relationship. Manage client relationships tactfully and sensitively and professionalism and respect. Do not engage in an attempt to fulfill the role of counselor, career guide, parental sounding board, or motivational coach for any of your clients. It's just going to get you in trouble. Mary may come in and say, me and my husband are having problems and this and that and the other. And you say, well, if I was you, I would leave him. Well, Mary goes back and tells Joe. Well, Joe comes up there and tells you to mind your own business and not to be telling his wife anything. Don't get into it, okay? Because Joe has just come in there and you've got a client in your chair and two waiting for you, and they're like, Well, if that's the way she is, I'm not going to keep coming back. I'm going to go ahead and leave now. Don't get involved. If your client gets too far off topic, use neutral subjects to bring the conversation back to beauty needs. If the client tells you about a personal problem, simply listen and tell the client you're sorry. Then ask, what can we do to make your visit better today? If your client is gossiping, change the subject as soon as you can. Try something like, I just noticed your ends are drier than I thought. We'll do a deep conditioning treatment after your color. Then describe the treatment and the home care. Books, movies, and celebrities can all be used to move the conversation about a particular look or style. As a rule, avoid discussing religion and politics. When you cannot find a way to move the conversation back to something beauty related, simply listen and then change the subject. There's also times when your client may get fresh with you. The thing I did when this happened to me, because it did happen, I did used to be cute in my younger days, but he would say stuff, and I said, well, I'll have to talk to my husband about that, or, me and my husband are going away for the weekend. Bring it up that you are in a relationship, okay? And that you're not interested in them by no means. Follow guidelines for workplace communication. Communicating with coworkers. Keep these points in mind as you interact and communicate with coworkers. Treat everyone with respect, just like I have told y'all about in here. Regardless of whether you like someone, your colleagues are professionals who deserve respect. Remain objective. Make every effort to remain objective. Resist being pulled into spats and cliques. Be honest and sensitive. While honesty is always the best policy, using unkind words or actions at work is never a good idea. Be sensitive and think before you speak. Remain neutral. There may be times where you are persuaded to choose sides. Avoid taking sides in dispute. Avoid gossip. Participating in gossip can be just as damaging to you as it is to the object of the gossip. You'll hear that throughout this whole book. Seek help from someone you respect. Ask the advice about how to proceed and then really listen. Do not take things personally. If you're confused or concerned by someone's actions, find a private place and an appropriate time to get clarification. Keep your private life private. The work environment is never the place to discuss your personal life and relationships. Employees might perceive managers as powerful figures of authority, but it is important to remember that managers are human beings. Staff members should support management and the salon by following the rules and the guidelines that are set. Here are some guidelines for interacting and communicating with your manager. Be a problem solver. When seeking advice about an issue or problem, think of a possible solution before. This will indicate that you are working in the salon's best interest. All right, so let's think of something. You come to me, Miss Carol, there are no towels, but I can go get them if you want me to. And I know that is very menial and it probably doesn't happen in the salon. We're getting backed up. Clients are lined up out there. I know that Jana's on Joe's book to be done for him to do her hair. But if I ask him, do you want me to go ahead and do her kids at least so, we can get caught back up? Be a problem solver. Get the facts straight. Make sure that the information is accurate before you speak to a salon management. This proactive approach to a problem solving will save time. Don't never go to a manager or someone and say, well, Jane Doe told me that Julie said that Davy was going to do this. Get the facts straight before you go and start anything, okay? Be open and honest. Advise the salon manager immediately when uncertainty compromises your decision-making skills. Do not gossip or complain. There's the gossip again. About colleagues. If you're having a legitimate problem with someone and have tried everything you can to handle the problem with your own resources, only then is it appropriate to go to your manager. Be open to constructive criticism. Part of your manager's job is to help you achieve professional goals and ensure the salon's success. It is the manager's job to evaluate your skills and offer suggestions on how to improve and expand those skills. Keep an open mind and do not take the criticism personally. And sometimes this is easier said than done because we always want to feel like we're doing something that's good, that's going to benefit us as well as the salon we're working in. And if somebody comes up and says, well, you need to keep your station a little bit neater, or you need to speed up just a little bit, or you're talking a little bit too much to your clients, or can you keep it a little quieter because you and your clients are getting kind of loud. Be open to criticism, okay? Or, the client just called and said you cut their hair too short, or, anything can happen. Just be open to it and say, okay, well, next time I'll do better by doing this, okay? All right, so let's sum it up. Communication is a key in a service industry, such as the one that you have chosen. You will be asked to interact with other human beings from all walks of life on a daily basis. You must learn how to effectively communicate with your clients, your coworkers, and your supervisors. Your overall appearance and facial expressions and body language, including our posture and gestures, make up the messages we deliver. Each element is important and all elements are critical, and effective communication is to occur. So now that we've went over this, I hope you go back and I don't hope, you need to go back and you read this chapter and you answer the questions, the check-in questions that are here, and put them in the box below. And I will go over the client intake form and have you one in class.